London office. I'm, as it says on the slide, a principal research scientist. That could mean many things, but my work is generally developing new technology for our products in terms of algorithms, audio processing, and ranges from the kind of fundamental research to working with our soundboard and content creators to evaluate things, working with Harry and colleagues in our audio team to refine and tune things, going from early research through to getting code into the players and headphones and shipping them. My background, like Harry, I have some background in production in TV. I used to work at the BBC, so I've worked on TV and sound production there. And I did some research, a PhD in spatial audio, which is my role on Sonos Ace was primarily around the spatial audio side and how it integrates with the Sonos system at home, which is your soundbar, the TV swap feature. I'm going to talk to you about the big update that we did for the Sonos Ace, the software update, which came out on the 10th of June and brings a whole bunch of new features to the headphone. It's part of a kind of strategy that we have to keep innovating and advancing products that we've already released to increase their longevity and value to existing customers, as well as hopefully bringing in new ones who are excited by what we're offering. It wasn't just me that worked on all of this, and this is a Meet the Makers event. We couldn't bring everyone, unfortunately, it would be quite a large team, but we have a little video to start you off, which is introduced by Shakira, who you all met. So I'm going to start you off with that so you get to see a range of faces who helped make the product and get to know the different contributions people made, and then I'll take you through the new features. And hopefully the AirPlay is still set up so we can hear this.
Welcome to Glasgow. We're here to meet the team behind Sonos Ace and learn about our first ever headphones. Sonos is predominantly focused on audio speakers in the home and then taking it to the personal listening experience. So what were the challenges that you kind of encountered in that process?
I spend a lot of time working on our products so you don't realise you're listening to them. We work with some of the best artists around the world as a checks and balances to make sure we're doing the right thing, to translate the greatest content into the best listening experience possible.
So we stand out in such a competitive landscape because we work so closely with industry-leading engineers, mixers, producers, and they can really help us sort of refine that tuning. In terms of the music side, it was very much getting the sort of spectrum right and getting the sort of tonal balance of the headphones correct so that we could ensure that that artistic intent really came through.
It was really important with Sonos Ace that we created something that looked uniquely Sonos, but also just did absolute respect to that audio and that really personal context. Ace has 8 microphones on it. They all need to be perfectly situated and also covered to make sure that you're getting studio quality calls, that you're getting in a great aware mode, that you're getting great noise cancelling mode, whether or not you're standing in your office or a wind tunnel. And that was really the experience that we dialed in on as something that we could do probably better than anyone else.
At Sonos, everyone in the world is working on this problem of immersion. So the TV audio swap feature is like this way of taking the kind of immersive experience of out loud and seamlessly turning it into a personal audio experience at the touch of a button.
Home theatre, TV and movie sound has multi-channel, there's these complex scenes that you're in. When it comes to the sound systems for that, there's a lot of nuance and understanding of how TV sound production works. TrueCinema is a feature to make the spatial audio for headphones more realistic and immersive. And the way we do that is to account for the acoustics of the room that you're in, build that into the headphone, and then that makes it feel like the headphones disappeared.
I think the things working together and doing something amazing together is what Sonos is really known for.
Sonos Ace is our first product that has a interface that you cannot see. So when we designed it, we had to make sure it was really intuitive, easy to find, and very memorable. So something you don't really have to think about. We really wanted to offer an intuitive experience when you first buy Sonos Ace, which is why you can just pair it to your phone right away. But if you do want to have advanced features and functionalities, you can download the Sonos app.
From early on, coming
was like a huge priority for us, but we also really wanted Sonos Ace to look good when worn. We took a lot of care making sure that the headphone worked for a diverse range of people. We introduced an angle to the inside of the ear cup, which mimics the natural taper of your ear. We designed what looks like a singular continuous headband, but internally it has a dual density foam, and that helps to redistribute pressure to the sides of your head. It makes a huge difference to comfort.
For the Sonos Ace, we need to make sure the color works across different contexts, including like different hair colors and different skin tones and all the environments that users might move through. It's not only comfortable against the skin, its softness also plays a very important role for the acoustic seal.
The premium feel and the use of sustainable materials kind of go hand in hand with our packaging system. The use of that sustainable material and the way that we elevate it really makes our brand premium.
All of our material selection is always very intentional, very thoughtful, from paper to the product case. In this product, we went with a felt that had kind of like a high tactile approach, and also is a more natural material.
Pretty much everyone here has a huge love for music. It's part of why we work at Sonos often. And in the Ace package, we took reference to a lot of old school music packaging. We thought it was a really nice touch point for customers to be able to experience that, and it had a bit of a nostalgic feel to it.
As you can see, there was a lot of love that went into this project. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you later.
Great, so hopefully it's a bit strange standing next to me talking on the screen.
Sure.
Nice for you to meet other people in the team. You know, there was a huge team that contributed to this and a whole range of skills that came together to make a product that we're really proud of. Who here has a Sonos Ace or has tried one before? Great, that's good to know. All right, I hope you're enjoying it so far, and I hope you're now enjoying getting even more features. How do we get this back to full screen? Sorry.
You just want to see yourself again.
Yeah, exactly. Great, so this major software update is about bringing longevity to the product. According to Nielsen IQ, in a survey from spring last year, approximately half of consumers are now considering spending more on higher quality products that last longer, and that's a clear indication that there's a crave for longevity and for a more sustainable approach. And that's why with Sonos Ace we were really focused on delivering this, and delivering a product with a timeless visual design with great comfort that resists wear and lasts for a long time. But also, it's built on a software platform that allows continuous updates and allows you to bring more to people over time, delivering further value. And yeah, we're really proud that this June we've been able to launch 4 new features that we're really excited about, and I'll take you through now, that take an already great product and give it new life and help it become a greater part of people's lives. So the first 2 parts are about the Sonos Ace integration with the home theatre system. It's a key element we've talked about, and as my colleague Gashan talked about there, the way that the products work together is something that people expect from Sonos, and it's part of what brings that magic integration. So in case you're not aware, TV Audio Swap is a feature where you can, at the touch of a button on the content key on the headphones or in the app, you can switch the sound from your soundbar into your headphones. So imagine the scenario where you're watching TV late at night, your children are asleep upstairs, or you're worried about disturbing the neighbours, but you still want to be fully immersed in the movie or the computer game you're playing. This is designed to bring you that same level of immersion, complete absorption, but without disturbing anyone. And there are some key features to it. We incorporate spatial audio so that we can still portray that full 3D soundscape that you expect from your home theatre system. We use head tracking technology, which helps anchor the sounds outside of your head and into the coordinates of the room. That may not be so intuitive, but the key is anchoring the content that's on screen to the screen. So if you look away even a tiny bit, the dialogue still stays locked to the on-screen action. And that helps pull the sound out of your head and make it feel more immersive. We're also setting up a dedicated wireless stream from the soundbar to the headphone to stream a low latency so you can still see in sync with the picture, and all of your head movements are handled at a quick enough pace that you don't notice any unnatural lag. So a whole lot of engineering went into making that system smooth and effective. And it's getting a major upgrade with this release. So something that people asked for a lot when we first launched it was, can I watch this with another person? You know, there's a lot of scenarios that I've described where you want to sit with a partner or a friend and experience something together. So we took on the feedback and we did the extra engineering work to bring this to a point where you can really easily join a session with two Sonos Aces and stream simultaneously. And it feels completely seamless. You can join a session and leave, someone else can come in with you, all the settings update accordingly, and yeah, now that magical personal experience can be shared, which I think is a really exciting proposition. And you'll get to try this and the next feature after this when we go to the demos. So the other key feature for the TV swap is what we call TrueCinema. This is a tuning process that's designed to enhance your listening experience in the TV swap scenario. And it takes a little bit of explanation to understand what we're doing here. You might be familiar with TruePlay, which is a system we have for tuning the speaker to the room that you're in to try and optimize for any specifics of where it's placed in the room and the acoustics of your room. There are some similarities with here, but it has a different role. So in spatial audio for headphones, there's some key components. What we're trying to do is recreate that immersive spatial sound scene that creators have worked so hard to produce. You know, from the dialogue in front and center and the soundstage that Harry's described, to surround sound effects and height and overall sense of ambience and immersion. To do that, we use some filters that process those signals for headphones, and they simulate the way that sounds in space reach your ears, the differences between the ears at different frequencies. They're like acoustic fingerprints that your brain decodes to say, a sound's coming from here on the left or behind me or above me. That's what's going on in TV audio swap when you have spatial audio on. We're taking that whole sound scene and we're going from 7.1.4 channels down to just 2, which come into your ears for the headphones. But inside that, we're putting in all the psychoacoustic cues that help you localize sound in space, as if there's this great 3D sound system around you. Another part of it is that we don't just want direction in our soundscape, we also want depth. That's what we hear when we're in the real world. You can perceive the distance of sounds, but you also get that on the loudspeakers in a room. And in headphones, we have to add that too. And the way we do that is we create a virtual room acoustic. So there's acoustic reflections. You know, if the only time we really hear sounds without acoustic reflections are if we go in an anechoic chamber, like acousticians have, or maybe if you're on the top of a snowy mountain where there's nothing to reflect off really, and the snow absorbs it. But that's not a very natural experience. In most rooms, we're judging the way sound, the sounds at different distances reach us by hearing that balance between the direct path of sound and the reflections off different surfaces. So in TV Swap, we have a virtual room that we tuned really carefully with content creators to try and get the perfect balance between some depth that pulls you out of the headphones, but on the flip side, not washing something in artificial reverb that change the nature of the TV signals that creators have worked so hard to produce. So we're really proud of what we did with the first launch to create this default room. But TrueCinema then goes a step beyond. So our brains are really powerful consistency detectors, and every room has a different pattern of how the reflections change with the sense of space and distance. And we learn that very quickly based on visual cues and the pattern of sounds that we experience as we walk into a room. So what TrueCinema is trying to do is to learn that about the space that you're in and build that into the system so that we can mimic the acoustics of your own space. Now what we're doing there is helping to bring a greater sense of depth to the headphone experience, so it really pulls the sounds from this bubble around your head to further out and feeling more natural. The main goal is to connect you more to the content you're listening to on-screen action, and to feel really immersed. And the key thing is that when the virtual space is a good match for the real space that you're in, it no longer sounds artificial. So if you're in a small room and you put big acoustics into your headphones, it will sound like someone's just put a reverb effect on your material, and no one really wants that. It's not what the content creator intended. But if you're matching to the room that you're in, your brain kind of filters it out. It's like, this is what I expect from sounds in this room, and therefore you don't really hear it as an artificial room anymore, you just hear it as sounds in space. So that's the key behind this feature. I'll take you through in the demo process of doing the calibration. It's a short, less than a minute process from start to finish to run a few kind of laser beam sci-fi sound effects from the soundbar that are recorded on the headphone. And then what we do is, from that we build like an acoustic fingerprint of your room. We analyze the way that the sound at different frequencies decays over time, the balance between the direct path from the soundbar, the sounds in the room, the reverberant energy of the room. And from that we can create this model of your room. But we also don't want to create every kind of detail of your room. If you've got acoustic issues in your room, you know that people often say, well, why would I want to create the sound of my room if it's got this horrible flutter echo or, you know, big boomy resonance? We're very aware of that, and in our system we've built that process in. So it's more like we're coming to your room with an acoustic consultant and we're setting up the perfect sound system, you know, 714 loudspeaker array, and then we're acoustically treating your room, fine-tuning it, reducing some of the resonances, and just making sure that it's a very high quality sound production, that, you know, you still get that maximum fidelity and Sonos sound quality that you expect, but we have enough of that acoustic character in the room that it feels a better match and more natural. So yeah, there's this tuning process, and then the soundbar has a stored model of your room, and any headphone that you've set up with TV audio swap in that room will get that room model. You can turn this on and off in the app. If something changes about your room, you can retune. It lives on the soundbar because that's where we process the incoming signal and send it to the headphones. And in the multi-user swap case, both users can hear the same TrueCinema tuning, so that those features work together. It may all sound a bit abstract, but you'll get to try it soon and hear it for yourself. I'll just pause there in case you've got any questions about these two features before we move on to the other parts. Great. Okay, so obviously headphones are not just used in the home, and the key is how it integrates with your life out and about in the real world. We've brought a major new update to our noise cancellation, our active noise cancellation system. It's now adaptive. So, you know, noise cancellation is ever more present in headphone products. It's something that people expect. It's part of our lives to help us get through the busy world. The way it works, you know, is to create an anti-phase signal for the noise that's coming into our headphones from outside to help it cancel out. And we're very proud of the noise cancellation we already have on the product. But the thing is, everyone is different. Like every room is different for TrueCinema. The way everyone wears headphones, people's head shape, the accessories they have, like hats and glasses, and even the way their hair interacts, that's all going to affect the way that sound gets from outside to inside the headphones to your ears. And so adaptive noise cancellation is the point where we can, in real time, constantly tune the way that we process the outside sound reaching inside to make sure that we optimize the noise cancellation process. And we'll get to try this as well. That's why there's headphones on the desk and some rather funky sunglasses in case you need to create a leak. But this is something that improves the noise cancellation for everyone. So even if you have a pretty good seal around your ears, by constantly updating based on measuring the amount of cancellation we're doing, we can improve the level of cancellation that we're achieving but it's in those situations where there's a leak, like with glasses that break the seal of the pads around your ears, that it really adds a lot of value. We're also bringing major updates to the telephony experience, to making phone calls. There's two factors to this. One is an update which brings higher resolution representation of your voice. So when you know that side of the call when you're speaking, this is bringing higher sample rates, so up to 32 kilohertz. It's a new codec that brings higher quality. It's supported on only certain platforms, so certain Android phones, smart TVs, and laptops. But you know, for those users who have compatible devices, it's a major upgrade from the existing coding of your voice. And probably the more exciting thing, when you're on a call and you have noise cancellation on, one big challenge to the experience is that you can't really hear your own voice very clearly, and that often leads to this slightly awkward situation where you're not really aware if you're shouting or not, but you want to block out the external sound. So we have a feature that we call side tone, which is activated when you're in a telephony session, so when you're on a call. And what this does is combine the noise cancellation with a sort of filtered version of your voice. So we're using the microphones on the outside of the Sonos Ace to beamform and capture your voice, and then we're bringing in that voice frequency range so that you can hear yourself a bit better. So the noise cancellation quality when you're on a call will change slightly because we're reintroducing some of the outside sound, but you can hear your voice more clearly, it feels more natural. And that's just while we're on the telephone call, and then when the call's over, we switch back to normal noise cancellation. But it's a much better experience. I really enjoy being able to hear myself and feel more natural on the call. And yeah.
Why is that only available on certain Android phones? Is that because some of the processing is happening on the phone? Or?
Sorry, that wasn't totally clear. So side tone, the feeding your voice through, is available for everyone on any phone. The call resolution for your voice, that's about the support that the phone has for the codec that's underlying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so for example, Apple devices don't support that, but we use the most up-to-date codec for the Apple devices support. But this step change in quality will be available for the devices that support it. Okay, so that's the suite of features that we've introduced, and you know, it's a combination of us responding to feedback, doing more research, updating to the latest trends, availability in new things like this codec. It's all part of a general strategy that we have to create premium products that people love and give them lasting value. As I've said before, you know, we see in the world of consumer technology so often there's updates really frequently, new models, different like special versions, and it leads to this sense that you constantly need to change, and that there's the churn and products going into landfill, and we're very resistant to that. Instead, we want to focus on high quality products that people feel they can have for years, and you know that combines, like I said, the timeless design, but also engineering for wear, building the software platform that means we can constantly update and introduce new features like this. And it's something that we're really proud of doing. And I think customers really connect with that, you know, to see that this is a product that will last for years to come. This is a survey from Tink, which I kind of hinted at another survey before, but both millennials and Gen Z say that they want more quality products that last. So there's real sentiment out there, and we're trying to deliver to those desires. Yeah, we're very proud that this is a product that gets better over time, and that comes through the software innovation platform. We also obviously work very hard to ensure that the hardware itself, lasts for a long time. And that was a process of design for durability, rigorous testing for wear. The paint on the Sonos Ace is designed to resist UV and wear so that it lasts for a long time. The logo on the product is laser etched, so it's not going to rub off. But we also put a focus on building the product with recycled materials, so 31% of the materials in the headphone is from recycled sources. And we have a recycled content certification, which we're really proud of. So, these trends in the public's mind, they're about cost effectiveness, but they're also about sustainability, and we're trying to honour that, and we obviously care about that very much too. Yeah, and we're really proud of these new software features. They bring a step forward in the experience, but it's part of that bigger story about delivering ever-evolving products. You know, you buy them, they're already great, but we want to keep improving for people. So yeah, that brings it all together, the update for Sonos Ace. If you have any questions now, I'd be very happy to receive them, or we can move into the demo.